Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. My days are all off. I don't know why. I don't know if you heard that. Sorry. Yeah, but let us know if you are here. We'll get just chatting for a little bit before we get deep into discussions, but we are talking about Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling today, and I tried to match the colors of everything.
There you go.
It was a solid color, but yeah, if you read it, use a green heart or any kind of green emoji in the comments to let us know that you read it. If you haven't read it, I wouldn't stay very long because there'll be lots of spoilers. But yeah, I'm so excited to talk about it. I tabbed a lot.
I did too.
I normally only tab like a decent or like I don't know. I feel like I tab a normal amount. I guess I tabbed. This isn't a good example.
Right.
I was like, what's a normal book? But I don't know. I tabbed this one like crazy. But yeah, I am so excited to talk about it. Like I said, there will be spoilers. So if you're popping on to say hi, thank you. I appreciate it. But please don't stay long because it's going to be hard not to just jump right in to this whole book and to talk about it. But hello, everybody. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Wendy.
You loved this book so much. You read it a while ago, didn't you? I know you read it. I think it was like a month ago already. Time has been flying.
Yeah.
Tina, yay, you got it done. I was getting kind of worried. I didn't know where you were with it in Discord, and based on like where you were commenting, I was like, I hope she finished. I hope she's able to make it tonight. So thank you so much for being here. But yeah, I guess we can get started and get going into it. So if you haven't read it and you're here and you don't want spoilers, now is the time to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we can start right out with oh, Wendy said I did and I was going to re-listen but didn't. I get that.
That's okay.
I finished this morning. I only had like 2 or 3 chapters. I was reading with one eye last night. I'm like, I just can't do it. So I woke up and I finished this morning and then I re-listened to the audio only. For like the first like 5 or 6 chapters just because I started that like a week ago, but then I read 90% of it yesterday.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I was like, wait, what happened way back then? So, well, technically I'm not quite done, but I don't mind spoilers. I'm sure the end will be crazy, but I'm almost done. Okay, I was wondering.
That's funny.
But to be honest, I don't think the ending was that unpredictable, to be honest. But with that, out of 5 stars, what are your ratings and what are your thoughts on it? This book is like a hot topic. If you are like want to be convinced to read it, do not check out any of the reviews.
Oh my gosh.
The reviews are super harsh and just drag this book through the mud. But I will say, I told April my rating this morning, and I am changing it, but just by a half point. I am giving it 4 stars. I actually really liked a lot of it and really enjoyed all of this. I do understand like why some people don't like it, but I personally am not understanding why people are dragging this book.
Yeah.
But I have heard that the author self-published this book, and that's where a lot of the bad reviews are coming from. And then people were then she got picked up by a publisher and had some editing done, and now people are giving it better reviews. However, there are still people giving it 5 stars, 2 stars, it's all over. So I thought it was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm at like a 4 star. I think just comparing other books that I give 4 stars to with fantasy, I'm like, I think this fits 4 stars pretty good. April.
Definitely. I'm like at a 4.5. So I'm not same thing. Same thing as you. Like I loved so much about the book. Like so much. But there was stuff I felt like I was maybe missing just a little bit, but not that I wouldn't like read it again or tell somebody to read it, like it wasn't enough to say that I don't like it. I don't know why people trash it so much. But yeah, I'm sitting at a 4.5.
I originally gave it 4.5, and then I was like, I feel really bad because I gave Quicksilver 4 stars, and I'm like, okay, either I have to raise Quicksilver up or I
Right.
have to bring this one down. And
Yep.
until I can reread Quicksilver, I'm like, I'm just gonna take this one
There
down
you go. Mhm.
personally. Um, but I can understand. Like, I was seeing some of the things that people were having problems with, but I was never really bored. I
No.
actually, like, really enjoyed it. I really I tabbed the crap out of this, like,
Yeah.
the amount of quotes that were impactful, I liked the characters,
Yeah.
so, yeah, it's a solid 4 stars. Um, wait, Wendy said, "I'm pretty sure I gave it 4 stars." Yeah, I think that's a solid rating for this. Man, I had to hop off and now I'm back. No worries. Okay, so I'm not finished right now. So it's either 3.5 or 4 stars. So you're right there with us.
Yep.
Hey Sarah, it was 3 stars for me, felt lacking for me. I think to cut it from an indie trad, 200 pages, what okay. They cut 200 pages, but I think it left too many issues for me. Yeah, and some people were like, "Oh, I'm missing the world building," but, a lot of people are like, "Well, you weren't missing anything." I saw a lot of, like, the mixed comments, and I agree that had she just been picked up by a publisher in the beginning, they would have been able to figure out this stuff a little bit better, um, but in general, I'm like, I don't hate it as much as people are hating it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I had this at 4.5, I think. I read 4 books in the last week, and I think Butcher and Blackbird was the only 5 stars. That's a good
Uh-huh.
5 stars, though. I also gave Butcher and Blackbird 5 stars. Yeah, I was at 4.5, but, for, like, reasons we're all talking about, I docked it half a point just from this morning, um, because I was really thinking about it, and I'm like, "Yeah, there are issues with it, but I'm not giving up hope just yet."
Yeah.
I can see some flaws, but I loved the story overall. Agreed. See, I messed up with reading this book. I had to finish Spark of the Everflame for an in-person book club for tomorrow, so I was reading both books at the
Oh.
same time. I liked this book, but like Spark more.
Yeah.
How ironic was it that I picked that book earlier? Spark of the Everflame was 5 stars for me.
Yes. Yeah.
So I agree, and that would be really tough, especially because there are a lot of similarities, I felt like, at least between the 2 books. Um, like, when I think of Fear the Flames, I also think, like, A Dawn of Onyx, Spark of the Everflame, Throne of Glass, just, general good fantasy books.
Yeah.
I usually don't read 2 fantasies at the same time, I get too confused. Agreed.
Yeah.
I have the same
Same.
issue.
Yep.
Okay, so with that being said, we're kind of already talking about it, like, what did you think about the writing style? Um, I actually really liked how she described the sceneries, all the details, and can we take a moment, though? If you have the physical copy, this has to be one of the prettiest maps I have ever seen in a book.
Yeah. It's gorgeous.
It's insanely detailed. Like, the castle looks exactly like it was described with the waterfalls. Um, there's her crown, her dagger, the flowers she talks about purple, bell they're, like, called star snips.
Mhm.
I think they're a made-up flower because I Googled that, I'm like, "I've never heard of that." But, like,
Yeah.
the flowers that are talked about in the book are on it. I'm obsessed with this map. Um, but it did to me kind of feel like a more is more book. It was like, we're gonna throw in all the things, and that's where I feel like we're all like, "Oh, it's lacking just a little bit of something," because there's so much put into this.
Yeah.
I loved all the stuff she put in, though.
Mhm.
Um, I liked the way she described things. I am an enemies to lover girly, and this is described as an enemies to lovers, and I was like, this is not enemies to lovers.
No.
This is also like an insta love type situation, which I am a slow burn girl, so that was just like stuff I had to accept.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked the descriptions, like, for those of you who've read When the Moon Hatched, like, that's way a level above what I can comprehend in description. Like, it's quite out up there. Obviously, it's beautiful, but it's just so much. This had just a good balance and like realistic stuff. So I actually tabbed this one just because it was really good. It said, I've always loved the sound, the sound of water. It's calming yet powerful. It's like listening to the sound of life after being surrounded by never-ending death. Like, that's just so cool to like put into perspective. And that was just one of her descriptions that were super cool and relatable. They were relatable descriptions, and like I could really picture it or smell it or hear it or whatever she was describing. So I really liked her descriptions. And the
Well,
banter was
yeah,
perfect.
I really liked, oh my gosh, Caden.
Oh
Ooh, I
yes.
just
His quips were ridiculous. Oh my gosh. That's why I have so many tabs.
I know. It's like every time he talked. The problem I had was, it just felt like he was always there, you know? We
Yeah.
never got to miss him
Yeah.
very long, and there were a couple situations where I felt like it was edited because I'm like, "Wait, how did they get?"
From it, yeah, it jumped. Yes.
Yeah.
It was like
Uh,
their travel, they didn't travel. They were just there.
Yeah, and there were so many times I'm like, how did that happen?"
Yeah.
And so I do think, like, that was, like, a bit of an issue, um, because I thought it was just me at first, and then when I was re-listening to some things and I was like, "No, this is, like, a continuous theme," I'm like, "Eh." It had so much more potential, I think,
Yeah.
if there would have been more time and more editing ahead of it, but
Yeah.
I'm still here. I was still here
Yeah.
for it. Um, okay. Okay. I have the UK edition of this book, and my app
Ooh.
map isn't in color, but I loved the purple hardback. Ah, I'm sad that they didn't include that because
Yeah.
that is, like, my favorite thing about this book. It's so pretty with the map, but I do love the color purple. I enjoyed her style, it felt raw and real for me. Agreed. Yeah, if anything, it was allies of convenience,
Right.
exactly. I thought it was easy to read and understand. I did love some of the descriptions and conversations. I do kinda wanna go back and tab some of the lines I liked.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like, "Oh, I don't need to tab that," but there were so many that I
Yeah.
just thought, like, those quotes on their own are so good.
Yeah.
Like, I want to frame that.
Yeah.
Specifically, we'll get to quotes and stuff later, but, like, the one where, um a castle or is a home that a
It's
whatever. We
just a
yeah,
home unless
yeah. It's
yeah.
about the queen. The queen makes the castle, the home
Right.
the castle. And I was like, "Yes, give
Yes.
me my tiara. We are my cat in my castle."
Yeah.
Uh, yes, 2 lovers. Um, I felt the same way, like, how did they get from one place to the other? It
Yeah.
felt very jumpy, and I felt like Caden was in there all the time. There was never a chance to actually miss him at all. That's it just like he was always there,
Yeah.
always. Which, I mean, it tracks for his personality.
Mhm.
Her writing style was okay, felt like it was confusing at times, missing out on info. Yep,
Yeah.
I do agree. I felt like all banter and no nuance. I wanted a little bit more. Yes. And that's where I think, like, I'm knocking it is because it could be better. I
Yeah.
think there's so much potential for it. But unfortunately, it's published and this is what we have now. um, okay, we'll jump into the favorite quotes and or scenes. Like I said, I tabbed so much. I I did a certain tab for anything that was between Caden and Elowen, but then I also had, like, just regular good quotes, and even, like, you can either stand against the tide or let it drag you under, stuff like that. Um, I tabbed so much. I could go on and on
Well,
and on.
the first one that I had tabbed for like a quote cracks me up. So it's Caden was gonna it was like page 40 and Caden was gonna escort her home and she said no. But if you need something to occupy your time, feel free to remove your boots and kick rocks. I was like, yes. Cracked me up. Oh my god.
One that I really liked was dreams can guide us out of our darkest moments, offering us nothing more than the comfort of hope, but they can also have the ability to break us.
Yeah, that's so
As a
good.
dreamer and, like, a daydreamer and, like, goal-oriented person, I felt that. I felt that quote. Um, but yeah, even, like, the banter okay, one scene that I don't know if I really it kind of confused me. I will say it wasn't my favorite, but the brothel
Oh my gosh.
scene,
Oh my
that,
god.
like, I was so confused when they left the room and, like, went out by other people. I'm like,
Right.
I I myself have not been to a brothel, but
Yeah,
to my understanding, that does not happen. That is not how brothels work.
correct.
Um, and that really kind of threw me off. Um, but yeah, there are, like, the banter I thought was really good. I did want a little bit of just not hectic craziness for a while too.
Yeah.
But I'm at the point where I have too much tabbed.
Yeah.
Oh, like, I wish to show you the world the claws I grew when they clipped my wings. Like,
Oh, yeah.
about, like, being resilient and, like, her oh, there was another one where she's talking about, like, Elowen is, like I'm pretty sure I put it in Discord about her fighting for herself and learning
Yeah.
that she was worth fighting for. I really liked that.
Yeah.
That quote was, like, I really appreciated. I really
Yeah.
appreciated, the anxiety representation. I mean, I think it could have been done better, but I was happy that at least it was even in there and talked about.
Yeah.
Um, the banter to me was hilarious. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, and, like, Caden didn't hold back from the beginning.
Right.
The brothel part confused me. Yeah, I was like, "I don't know what convenience they're trying to show right now." Like, I thought they were just gonna be in a brothel room, and then the assassin was gonna try to, like, break in the room. I didn't think that she was going to put on lingerie and go
Right.
waltz around, and they were gonna have to put on a show. I was very confused. And that's when things kind of, like is okay, so this book has a lot of trigger warnings, and while some of them are talked about, like, when she's in the prison, it wasn't until, like, the brothel scene that things, like, really started taking off. Then things got very spicy, things got very, graphic,
Yeah.
which I don't that stuff doesn't really bother me. I was just the fact that it wasn't throughout the whole book. It was kind of like, oh no, it's not that bad, and then boom,
Yeah.
it's all there. I actually kind of loved the brothel scene. It was Game of Thrones-esque to me. Yeah, like, I don't hate it. It just confused me at first, and then I was like, I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't like it, but
Right.
it shocked me at first. I literally was, like, laughing and like, "Wait, what's happening right now?" And Matt's like, "What?" I'm like, "I just am not understanding the circumstances of this book right now, but I'm just jiving with it." A favorite scene of mine was when she was in the bathtub and the attempt was made on her life, and when it was over, Caden lifted her out of the tub and she told him to not let his eyes wander. Yes,
Yeah.
I loved that scene.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's when I fell for him.
Yep.
That's when I was like, "And sold."
Yeah.
One of my favorite quotes was, "Every soul has something to mourn." I
Mhm.
highlighted that too. I There are just so many relatable quotes, I
Yeah.
thought, in this book. Even if, like, you don't like everything about the whole book, I thought there were some really standout quotes.
Yeah.
Also loved Finian and Elowen's relationship. Yes.
Me
And
too.
I was so happy because when Finian was first around, I'm like, "No,
I
no
know.
love triangle. Please, I can't do another, like, he's like my brother, but he's not like." I'm like, "No." And then so when he's gay and like a brother, I'm like, "Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, yes. We don't need this side plot." Oh, the Rider Thin Walls had me dying laughing.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh, that was so funny.
And that's
Oh
when
my
I
god.
really felt like that a fuzziness of this little group of the
Yeah.
5 of them. I was like, I'm really digging this little group we have."
Yeah.
What else was I gonna say? Uh, I was so afraid of a love triangle with Finian too. I was like, "Ugh, no." Yeah, my first thought was, "Please, not another love triangle." I'm not against them, but in, like, that exact, situation, I just feel like it's been done so much in fantasy.
Yeah.
I was like, "If you're gonna at least do it, mix it up a bit," but
Yeah. I loved in the beginning when they were leaving her house, her and Finian, and she was just they walked through the house and they were kind of just going through their memories and stuff. And she says, she doesn't say it out loud. This is, I guess, in her thoughts, but she says, "My home isn't the place we stand in front of. My home is standing beside me with his arms looped through mine."
mm,
I'm like,
that's
that's
so
like
sweet.
best friend quality right there. Like, I had a best friend who was a guy in high school, and like that was like our bond too. It was just the best of friends that wasn't a girl, so you didn't have the girl drama. So you had,
Mhm.
and all that stuff. And just that was just so sweet. I loved their friendship and their relationship, and so glad it didn't turn into a love triangle too.
Yeah. I know, and I'm glad that they made it very apparent in the beginning, like, that wasn't a
Yeah.
thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh my gosh," like, there was even, like, a bit of jealousy, and then, Elowen even made, like, a joke about it,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh, thank goodness."
Yeah.
Um, One thing I did really like too was when Elowen made the flower crown.
Mm.
I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm obsessed with flowers and crowns. The fact that she, like, made a flower crown, I was like, I just
No.
love this little moment right now.
Yeah.
And going back to the quote you said, April, about, like, the water, the fact
Yeah.
that Caden had water, like, in his house because it was soothing to him,
Yeah.
I really liked how that tied together.
Yeah. That was really cool.
Um, because there was even a quote that I highlighted at, like, towards the end, um, where Caden said, "This is who I am, Elowen, and I am yours. All of me, every darkened part, until the moon crashes into the sea and all the stars blink out of existence."
Yeah. That was crazy.
There's stuff like that. Yeah, they didn't want us in their world, so I made a new one.
Yes. I had that one highlighted too.
There's just so many. If we
So
go through
good.
all of them, I'll be here forever. I feel like it's way overdone, and it is.
The love
But
triangle,
then I
yeah.
also feel like people are over it, but then I don't know, then people are like, "Oh, I can make it different," and
Yeah.
it's fine. People are allowed to write it, but
Yeah.
I'm glad that that wasn't the situation. They were truly, like, found siblingship.
Yeah.
The relationship is just so cute, and he's super funny.
Yes.
Yes. And, like, you can tell that there's no, like, privacy, there's no
Right.
secrets, and I really liked seeing that throughout the book. Okay. Well, that kind of what
That's funny.
relationship
Yep.
did you appreciate? That kinda goes along with that. Um,
And
but,
I like her starting friendship with Saskia.
mhm.
Like that's gonna be a really cool to see in the next coming upcoming books, you know.
Yeah, I
And
really
Kaden
like
and Ryder.
yeah, I was gonna say I liked that the group of 5, which
Yeah.
I did put in, Discord. I didn't wanna, like, spoil it because I didn't know how the book was gonna end,
Yeah.
but I said, like, 5 by 5. I just find it really convenient that there are 5 dragons and then 5 of them that are very close.
So interesting.
Watch it be nothing. I just feel like
Right.
5 dragons is a lot for 1 person,
Right.
but, I could just be wrong.
Well, maybe she's still bonded to all 5 and they just let the others ride them.
Well, and, like, they talked about, like, the bond and, like, how that works, and I could understand where, like, they are hers,
Yeah.
right? But it kind of, like, showed at the end that she's trying to rebuild this bond with them,
Yeah.
and if she's constantly around these other people, are they going to be able to create some type of bond, whether it's just to ride them or a magical bond
Yeah.
of some kind, you know? I just kind of find it odd that there
Yeah.
are 5 and 5. So I'm just throwing that out in the whole theories
Yeah.
world. But I didn't wanna say too much because 'cause I'm like, I have no idea how this book is gonna end. I could be way off or whatever, or I could be spot on. I have no idea. But, yeah, I really appreciated Saskia. I'll be honest, I even made the comment. I was like, "I don't trust any of this. This is way too happy, way too easy." And that's just, like, how it felt. Like, I really liked their little group, but I thought Tina, this is gonna be a spoiler for you. Um, I thought the uncle, like, betraying her really wasn't a shocker. I thought it was, like, pretty obvious, like, that was gonna happen. I wasn't a fan of him from the beginning,
Yeah.
middle, or end, so I wasn't like, that wasn't, like, a big earth-shattering thing for me, um, and I never liked him, like, at
Yeah.
all in it, so I was like, "Nah, shocker, not really." But, I liked Ryder and Caden, like, even though Caden seems so closed off, you know that he's also close with Saskia and Ryder. Like,
Yeah.
they just have their own way of communicating that isn't him, like, happy all the time.
Yeah.
Um, oh, I never thought of that. That could be something. I watched it not be anything, and I'm so wrong. I just felt like, at the end where she's, like, hopping on all these different dragons, I'm like, that just seems like a lot of work. Do you know what'd be really convenient? 4 other people that you're
Right.
very close with. It's okay, I'm totally here for the spoilers. Um, yeah, and I guess I didn't put it as a question, but, like, how did you guys feel about the ending, of it? To me, it wasn't and that also, like, I was like, "Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be quite 5 stars for me," because the ending I just wanted more.
Yes.
I wanted her to be, like, captive. I wanted that
Yeah.
cliffhanger ending to make me really want to jump into the next book. Um, and I didn't feel that. I really felt like that could have been really different. Everything just felt really easy. Even the heist, this is what I saw, like, a lot of reviews. The heist to get the dragons was so lackluster.
Yeah.
Um, it was, like, really, like, just too easy, too convenient. Everything just felt really simple.
Yeah. That
Uh,
part felt really YA. Like it was just, like friends traveling through the castle to get to the other side. Like
yeah, and it's not that, like, I wanted anyone to die or
no.
anything. I was expecting them to get caught a little bit, or it not go the way they want it to,
Yeah.
or they're not able to get all the dragons, or it was just like, "Oh, yeah, we got in, easy peasy, no
Yeah.
big deal. Oh, yeah, it was kinda hard, but we're assassins."
Right.
Um, to me, the book did feel more romance with fantasy added to it. Like, the fantasy and the plot of the whole fantasy is kind of, like, second, where the romance was the main part of this book. I have no idea what the other books are gonna be like, but it did. It felt like super YA, except until you get to the brothel
Oh,
scene, the castration scene.
right.
That's what I was like, this just pivoted real hard into a different book. I don't hate it, but the whole book has not been this way.
Right.
Um, it was sad but interesting how the dragons were, like, attacking her at first, and then it turned out it's because they made them think she hurt them, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they, like, had, like, a fake her and,
Yeah.
like, taunted them and did all this stuff. So I mean, that was a twist, but it was like it all was just solved very quickly.
Yeah.
And maybe that was things that was edited out too. Like,
Yeah.
I guess we
Well,
don't know.
on that part, I just watched the Hunger Games like movies this weekend, and it made me think of PETA's tracker jacker like training that Katniss was the enemy. Like she was the enemy, and that he got,
Mhm.
trained to attack her because
Yeah,
she was the bad person. She was made out to be the bad person. So that's what kind of made me think of it with the dragons. I'm like, oh no, they're gonna try to kill her because they've been trained that she's the bad guy in this
yeah.
situation.
They brainwashed them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then even at the end, they were leery of her, but then instantly they were, like, fighting for attention and everything. It
Yeah.
just the ending was just too convenient, too quickly. And then for the fact that Caden and her are now married, it
Yeah.
was just all like, okay. Like,
Could we have saved that for like book 2, maybe?
that's
Think about that.
I like slow burn, but
Right.
that's where I'm like, this could have left at a cliffhanger of her being kidnapped
Right.
by the king, because I think we knew that Caden was pushing the king to his edge, and save that for like an ending and then have that wrap up in the beginning and start off. I don't know.
Yeah.
The ending was just like very happily ever after, and that's so weird in a series to me because I'm
Yeah.
so used to detrimental cliffhangers.
Yeah.
But that's what makes me like I need to pick up the next book. I need to know what happens. And this one I'm like, things are content right now. They're going to go to war, but we expected that, I
Yeah.
guess, from the beginning. The ending was a little too convenient, but I still wanted to read the next book immediately. I figured you would, Beth. That reminded me of PETA too. Yeah, it was all resolved so quick and sudden.
Yeah.
That's just like a lot of things. We're just easy peasy. And I like a good challenge. Them attacking her because they thought she wasn't real, both a good twist and heartbreaking, especially because she felt like she deserved it. Yeah, that part was
Yeah.
sad, where she was like, let them. And I'm like, girl, you like were fighting for your own worth, and then now you're tearing yourself down again. I forgot they got married. Yeah, because it was really like worded weirdly. Like it was like they're married, but
Yeah.
they're
I
not.
actually read it twice because I was confused because all of a sudden she's like, I agree. And I'm like, wait, what do we agree on? What are you saying? Like, what?
Yeah, and then now it's like, boom,
Right.
they're married, and it's like, is that
Wait.
how that goes there? Like,
Right.
I don't know, like, the formalities of this world
Yeah.
to be married, but, um, Well, the biggest thing, like, that kept reiterating that happened was I was following, the author's Instagram to see, like, what's coming up, when the new book is coming out, all that, and she's like, "Things you can expect, like, wifey, wifey, wifey," and I was just like, "I forgot," like, because it's just such a weird thing,
Yeah.
and it just felt very quick,
Yeah.
which I understand that Elowen is mad at him for it, but also I'm like, "Eh, I'm not mad."
No.
I love it. I love
Right.
Kaden. I
Well, and he was a little bit further on in his mindset with her. Like he loves her. He loved her from a long time ago, you know. So he's like, sure, yep, married. She'll get there eventually. She's fine.
yeah.
Just agree, and you'll figure it out later. Just
Yeah, and I don't mind it when, like, the guy is insta-lovey like that because I like the, like, touch her and
yes,
die type trope too,
yeah,
and so, like, I loved Kaden, and I just loved, like, that he knew how to get under her
uh
skin,
huh, yeah,
and then she knew how to break down his walls, and I'm
yeah,
like, "I like this. This makes
yeah,
me happy." But I was like, yeah. So if you guys don't know, this is gonna be a 4-book series,
crazy,
which I really feel like everything could be wrapped up in one more book.
yeah,
I was like, "It's gonna be a duology," and then I saw it's supposed to be 4 books, and then I'm like, "Why not make it 5 and have one for every dragon?" Like,
right.
come on.
That'd be
This is
so cool.
this this is how I think, but I'm sure that's a big difference. But this is supposed to be 4 books. I have no idea what is going to happen in 4 books. The one thing that they did talk about a decent amount were the gods, but
Yeah,
we know, like, little to nothing about them, so I kinda wonder if that's gonna play more into it. I guess, like, also when it comes to the dragons, how did it come to be? I know Elowen's supposed to, be this prophecy, like, fulfill this prophecy, but we really don't that's, like, pretty much like the war. And I'm like, I don't know what's supposed to happen for these
yeah.
other books. But it's just kinda crazy to me. Yeah, I love the touch her and die trope. It's so
Mhm.
good. And I felt like it was really well written in this book.
It really was. It was great.
I didn't know it'd be 4 books. Not sure if I'm invested enough for this. I think the next book will definitely be telling for me because I honestly could only see one more book after this. So, and if it wrapped up so easy peasy like this one did, I mean, I'm someone who has to know, even if it's not my favorite, I have to know eventually.
Yeah.
So, I think I will continue regardless, but I just thought that was a long shot. I mean, the next book better have some major twists.
Yeah.
That's kinda how I feel. I'm super curious what's going to happen to make it 4 books. And
Yeah.
they're already married?
Right?
Yeah. I mean, maybe this is where it becomes lovers to enemies.
True.
I have not read a book yet that has done that. I feel like that I can't remember,
Yeah.
but I'd be okay with it. I
Yeah.
I would hate it, but I would be okay with it because 'cause it'd be so different.
Yeah.
Um, okay. Uh, these are just, like, some fun questions. Caden's favorite drink is whiskey, so what is yours? It can be non-alcoholic or alcoholic, whatever, you would like, but I just, like they brought that up a lot, um, and I like that he has, like, a signature drink,
Yeah.
and I thought that was really cool. Mine would be margaritas, just like a classic margarita. I'm a margarita girl.
Diet Pepsi. It's what I always grab. I know there's Diet Coke girls, and I can drink a Diet Coke, but if I'm gonna go to the gas station and get a drink, I'm gonna reach for the Diet Pepsi. Like it's just something about it. So, and I don't like regular sodas just because, like Coke, Sprite, they're too sweet to me. So I'm not drinking the Diet Pepsi because it's got to be diet. I just don't like the sweetness of the drinks. So yeah, that's my go-to.
It's funny because I don't really like drinking pop very much because it's just, like I don't know. It's too just sugary for me, but then meanwhile, my favorite drink is a margarita. And I love fruity, sweet drinks, but I'm like,
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I could drink that all day.
Right.
Um, oh, plot twist.
Do
Write one, Sam. I'm not
it.
capable of writing a book. Thank you. Thank you for that, but I am not capable of writing. Beth can write one.
Yeah.
Lovers to enemies to lovers. I have heard
Ooh.
people, like, talk about, like, that kind of trope, and I'm like, "Please tell me more, because I would love that. If it's going to be dragged out to 4 books, I
Right.
would be okay with that. As long
Mhm.
as it's believable, right?
Yeah.
It's gotta be believable. Sweet revenge wine. That is good wine. I do like that wine. Or frozen strawberry margarita. Yum. I like frozen margaritas when I'm, like, in Florida, or it's, like, a super hot day in Michigan. I get cold all the time, and so they're like, "On the rocks or frozen," and everyone always gets frozen except me. And I'm like, "I get cold and brain freezes." Moscato wine, and for non-alcoholics,
Ooh.
Alani. I have not, is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Alani. I haven't tried them, and everyone talks about it, and I really wanna try one.
You should. I had a lock-in with my youth group the other week, whenever that was, a couple weeks ago. And a girl stopped by just real quick just to say hi. It was like almost almost midnight, I think it was, and she was like, "How long are you here?" I said, "Well, I'm here till 7." She goes, "I will be right back." She left and came back and brought me an Alani. They are so good. They're so good, and it lasted the rest of the morning. So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, see, I feel like I don't ever try that many new things. For instance, since I'm, like, training for a half marathon right now, I'm on all this runner FYPs and stuff like that, so I'm getting all this runner content, and people are like, for people with a peanut allergy, I do not have a peanut allergy, but, like, "What do you take for a running snack?" And someone said, Nerd clusters.
Mm.
They'll take that when they're, like, running, and I'm like, "Huh, I've never had one." I asked my husband to get them for me. Y'all, my life has changed. The
New
amount of
addiction.
candy, I am going to eat so much candy.
It's
They're
so
so
funny.
good.
They're so good.
Pop. I'm from the Midwest.
Coke. It's just all of it is just Coke.
That's Matt. So Matt is from Michigan, but he's lived in Arizona, and he's like, "It's soda." And I'm like, "It's pop, and you know it."
That's
And
funny.
he'll say soda just to make me mad.
That's so funny.
I'm a whiskey or whiskey sour in colder months and gin and tonic in the warmer months. Matt likes gin and tonic. He used to like whiskey, but now, the older he's gotten, the less he drinks. But he used to be like a huge Jack Daniel's drinker. So we have like every type of Jack Daniel's you could ever want. There's a lot.
Oh my gosh.
I like whiskey. It just gives me a headache now. I like the flavor in like a Jack and Coke. I'll have a Jack and Coke, but I get headaches now. Not with margaritas. Well, as long as I keep it to a minimum. I can tell you're not from the South when you say pop.
Yeah.
Michigander, my whole life. It's an adult slushie. It is. I love it in the summer. I can't in the colder months. I can't. I'll be cold forever.
That's funny.
Alani's are so yummy. Well, I'm gonna have to check that off my list too. I like the different flavors. I know, and everyone I just saw like a couple of my friends are like, "I found my new favorite flavor." And I'm like, haven't even had one ever. Uh, I'm also really loving frappuccinos. Yum. I got a protein coffee powder, and I'm really liking that
That's
too.
awesome.
I need nerd clusters are amazing.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, they are amazing. They are. I thought, okay, so in my brain, I'm thinking like regular size nerds on a gummy, and I'm like, you're gonna crack your teeth. Like, no, I didn't realize they're like super tiny mini nerds that dissolve in your mouth, and Oh, they're so good.
Yeah.
So good. Okay, another just for funsies question. There are 5 dragons: emerald, lavender, crimson, silver, sky blue. Which one do you pick? They all have names too, but I mean that that's gonna take me another whole book to learn each of the
Right.
dragons' names. However, I loved their color depiction. I
Yeah.
also loved that, like, the lavender dragon is a male dragon. Like, you wouldn't expect that,
Yeah.
you know? Like, I loved how that was, like, a little bit different.
Yeah.
Um, but anyways, so it's pretty much like pick your favorite color.
Right.
Um, I also thought it was really different how, like, the color she picked, right?
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea if that's gonna play into anything. Um, but yeah, what would you guys pick? I am torn. I
Yeah.
made the question and I'm like, "I don't know." I would say either emerald or lavender.
I was gonna say emerald or silver.
Well, and see, like, to me, silver would be such a good neutral color.
Yes.
This is how I think. So you could wear anything pretty much and match it.
Exactly. You could wear all the colors
This
and
is
still
how
match.
I think. Um, but, like, I love greens.
Yeah.
And my favorite colors are, like, teal, obviously, um, pinks, and purples, but I love greens too. I don't like that whole side of the color wheel is just my favorite. So
Yeah.
getting me to pick is just really hard. Um,
Well, and my favorite color is orange, but Iron Flame and uh Fourth Wing have kind of destroyed my wanting an orange dragon for anything because they're all bad.
well, and you don't like red.
No, I don't like red. No,
Which
I don't. I like Mickey. I like Disney, but I don't want a red dragon. They're scary. So, yeah.
Beth said lavender. I have a bag of nerd clusters in my backpack that I take to work every day. I've been really good about not eating them very much though with cutting sugar.
Good
Yeah,
job.
I have found though, if I eat too many, I get the, like, candy sickness really easy with them, which I guess is fine because then I'll just pace myself
Yeah, there
eating
you
them.
go.
But because I ate, like, half a bag and I'm like, "I don't feel good." That's a lot of sugar. But they're so good, and especially, like, to just let sit on your tongue. So good.
Yeah.
Lavender, I think. I know, I feel like that's such a rare color, like, cause
Yeah.
purple dragon, not that rare, but a lavender, like a lighter purple, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Green is my favorite color, but I'm really loving purple lately. I can't pick. I don't know, either lavender or silver. What are the other colors? Crimson. Okay, so there's emerald, lavender, crimson, silver, or sky blue. Which also, like, because
Yeah.
I feel like red and green are very traditional dragon colors.
Yeah.
Silver, lavender, sky blue, like,
Yeah.
you get blue dragons and you have purple dragons, but you don't get, like, the lighter pastels of them. So
Yeah.
I kind of thought that was cool.
Yeah.
And I loved how she, like, talked about them and, like, their different, like, personalities. I did see that we are supposed to get more dragon personalities in the next one.
Yay.
A lot of people were complaining that there weren't dragons in this, and I'm like, "No, they were locked in a dungeon." Like,
Right.
you had to go get them.
Yep.
Um,
I was gonna be like 3.5 star if she never made it to the dragons. Like, I was expecting I like every time I was like, it's gonna happen now. It's gonna happen now. It's gonna happen now. And then oh my gosh. It
well,
took forever.
but then it happened, and I was like,
Womp womp.
"That yeah." I was like, "We could have pushed this off a
Never
little
mind.
bit."
Just leave us on the cliffhanger that she opens up a door and they are, and then in the book.
Or she opens it up, and they're not there.
Oh, and they're not there. Dun dun dun.
April would have been like, "I'm not reading anymore."
I'm out.
She's
I'm
like,
done.
"They're not there.
Roll
They're
the book
not there."
across the room.
Okay, she did say that they could camouflage though, which I was like,
Yes.
interesting.
Yeah. Gonna be like the like the dragons in Onyx Storm.
Let's not spoilers, April.
Oh, no spoilers.
I mean, Marb is currently a good orange April. Yeah, not all of them are bad. It's
Not
just
all
that
of them.
we
Currently, though. Currently.
I mean, I personally see any reds, orange, and, like, yellow colors as bad, but that's just because I don't like them.
That's funny.
I know, April's like, "Orange is my favorite," and I'm like, "I am not gonna tell you my least favorite color."
Right. We'll just keep that under wraps.
That's what's so funny. That's why we're friends is because we're different.
Exactly.
Um, so we talked a lot about this, but, what would you change about this book? Um, obviously we have a lot of we've already talked a lot about this, but I'm just putting this out there. If you have any more last thoughts about it, I think it had great potential. I think it just needed to be reformatted, changed a little bit when it came to Elowen and Caden's relationship. I wish there was a little bit more twists
Yeah.
and not so jumpy.
Yeah. Yeah. A twist would have been great at the end. But I do feel like maybe she was just trying to be a little bit different because, like, every book has a twist at the end, but it's kind
And
of needed to carry on the anticipation to get you to the next book. So,
I
yeah.
mean there were twists. There
Yeah.
were twists. It's just they were all kind of predictable.
Yeah. They weren't like, they weren't like a Heartless Hunter kind of twist.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It was I just think it could have been a little bit more thought out.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe the next books are gonna rock our world.
Yeah.
Especially now that she is like she has a publisher, maybe
Yeah.
they are mapping things out and really tracking how things are gonna play out.
Yeah.
It's Rebecca and she loves hurting us. Yeah. See,
Exactly.
I think I'm just so used to being tortured that when I read a book
Right.
that you don't get tortured, I'm like,
Like,
"What's
what?
this like? I'm not used to this."
That's funny.
And I like as soon as once Elowen and Finian were like split up and captured, I was like, "Yes, something crazy is about to happen." And then it was all figured out. I'm like,
Oh,
"No, like
yeah.
you had that. You had that there. You had that scene. You could have made that more complicated." I
Yeah.
understand it's not setting you up for the way you want in the next book, but something could have been different.
Yeah.
I would change the ending if she wanted to leave it more on a positive note, take the end fight and move it to the next book. Yep. Yeah. I really enjoyed it though.
Yeah.
So, will you read Wrath of the Dragons that comes out July 29th? And then this is a 4-book series. Will you continue with the whole series? I definitely will be reading the next book. I am excited to see how it continues. I probably will eventually read the whole series, but the next book is going to be a huge determination if it's pre-ordering every
Right.
book that comes out or just wait until I can eventually get to it.
Yep. Yep. Same. I'll be picking up the next book for sure. And, August is crazy. I know it's coming out July 29th, but that's basically August. And
Mhm.
August is crazy with school starting back. So probably you'll get to it at the end of August or so. But yes. And then exactly. I've started the series, so I'll eventually finish it. But it will be like if it ends on a cliffhanger if I pre-order and stuff like that. So, but yes, the simple answer is yes.
Yeah, and the cover, it looks similar to this, but it's like navy. I mean, it's got I really like the cover.
Yeah,
Um but it's navy. And so then I was like, I don't know where she's going with the colors. I personally would have gone with the colors of the dragons, but since she's doing
dragons.
only 4 books, I'm not really sure. I mean, so maybe it's based on the territories
Oh,
because oh man, the
oh yeah,
Varenveth, that I
yeah,
feel like I'm not saying that right, but um that the green and gold was that um were those colors. So I wonder if because of the war with Imarath, if maybe that's why it's more of a navy. I don't remember what they said the colors of that were.
Yeah.
I like covers to have meaning, and
Yeah.
not just be like, "Ew, it looks pretty. We like this color together." Um, but let me look up to see if I can find the cover quick. Okay. Eh.
Oh yeah.
So it's similar. I guess, yeah, it's blue. It might be showing up a little purple, but it looks like navy-ish. But I like that it has like the gold scroll on the
Yeah.
edges. I like the swords. I like the dragons. I will buy it for a pretty cover.
Yeah, there you go.
um oh, it's coming out this July? Yes. I'm watch me double check this and be like, no. I was gonna say you can like verify if you there is a link in her bio to submit proof of pre-order purchase from any retailer, and we will send you an exclusive digital bonus scene on pub day.
Hmm.
So yeah. It said what to expect in the next book. Some things are celestial symbolism, spoiled dragons with diva complexes,
That's awesome.
plenty of my wife moments, dual POV for peak yearning.
Mm.
I didn't know we were going to get POV. Overseas journeys, epic battles, a marriage of convenience that's also inconvenient, a nickname in an ancient language.
Hmm.
So that's what to expect in the next book. I like all those things.
Right?
Oh, I'll definitely read the next one. I'll read the next book, I
I
think.
think.
You just gotta finish this one.
Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, the ending will it's not
Yeah.
hard to read, and that's how I
Yeah.
felt. Like, this book wasn't hard to read. I literally read most of it yesterday,
Yeah.
and I wasn't like, I didn't feel like I was forcing myself to get through it.
Yeah.
I'll be reading it. Odds are I will read the whole series, but definitely need this next book to make a major change to make me hardcore keep
Yeah.
going. Agreed. Unless it turns out completely awful, I'll
You're
probably
right.
read the entire series.
Yeah.
Even so, this book kind of reminds me of A Dawn of Onyx. That was a book that we read for this book club. Oh
Yep.
shoot, well over a year ago, and loved that book. Then I got the second one. I did not like it. I think I gave it like 3 stars, maybe 3.5. It was just and Dawn of Onyx was 5 stars for me. However, I still bought the third one because that was only a trilogy. So I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe it wraps up nicely, but I have not read it yet. And it's been a long time since I read the second book. I read the second book the first month it came out, and now I honestly don't remember a whole lot except that
Yeah.
it wasn't my favorite. So that's like my fear with this next book because it just kind of feels like a series like that. Like,
Yeah.
I see flaws now. Is it going to crumble the foundation of everything you have, or can we rebuild, set it up straight, and figure it out? You okay?
Yep. Sorry, I had to sneeze.
Oh, you're okay.
Like, oh my gosh.
Um, but with that, our May pick, I am so thrown off
Oh my gosh.
because
Yeah.
we pushed this back because there were so many other book clubs that we're discussing last week. And I was like, I want to join those book clubs too. And it'll give more people time to read, which was good because I finished this morning.
Yeah.
um, but May is our next month, and we will be reading the Book of Azrael by Amber V. Nicole. And for people who want an older book that's been out for a while, I think the last and final book comes out this year. And I think
Nice.
it comes out pretty soon. So, Beth, this is for you. Because she's like, why can't we read books that are finished? This will be finished, if not this year, very soon. I'm pretty sure I feel like it's this year. Um, so we'll be reading the Book of Azrael. I'm very excited for it. I've heard a lot of good things.
Yeah, me
Um,
too.
It is pretty available if you look at libraries. It's on I think it's on my Hoopla.
Mhm.
Um, so if you're looking for audiobooks, all that kind of resources and stuff, but we don't have any solidified dates just yet, but I mean,
Yeah.
we'll figure it out. It'll be sometime the end of May or early. Um, sorry, my cat distracted me. It'll be either end of May or early June, and we'll have sprints and stuff for all that next month with you guys. But thank you guys so much for being here.
Yeah.
Um, I want to start the Book of Azrael now, but I'm trying to wait. That's
That's funny.
probably for the best.
Wait,
At least
Wendy.
wait until May.
Yes. So
You
it's
know,
fresh on your mind.
or at least, somewhat fresher. I am hoping to get the Discord set up sooner rather than later. But I can tell you I will not read it until like the week before because I will forget everything if I don't. It's on KU. Perfect. Yeah, it's been out for a while and I'm excited because like this was like a newer book, and then
Yeah.
now we're gonna do one that's a little bit farther back, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much for being here. This was a great time, and I hope to see you next month.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Yay, that makes me happy,
Yay.
Peanut. Okay, have a good night, guys.